Hello, everyone, and welcome to this installment of the Oscar Film Forecast. Today, we are going to be predicting Best Director, um, which is we're predicting in late July. Um, Obviously, all subject to change. The Oscars are in April. Some movies that are on eligible dates right now could move away from those dates, but as of July, whatever day it is, um, these are our predictions for Best Director. And I'm joined by Ben Campbell to predict the Best Director category. And Ben, do you have any honorable mentions for this category?
I do. I have some insane honorable mentions. Well, no, not really. Not really, actually.
Let's hear.
So my first honorable mention is Ms. Liesl Tommy for Respect. I just think Respect looks like a really good movie. So
yeah.
I think she has a chance. And also, I'm not sure how hard that the Academy is going to want to push women, and I'm not sure how hard they're going to push women of color. So it all depends on, like, realistically, they should be nominating these people on the work that they do. But if that was actually true, then Lulu Wang would have been nominated last year, and she probably would have won as well. So they don't do it like that. So that's why I'm saying that Liesl Tommy for Respect is an honorable mention, because first off, we're not sure if Respect is going to be like one of those movies where the actor's really good or the movie's mediocre, but we're not sure if it's going to be like an amazing film that gets no recognition, like, say, Harriet, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just don't know. All right, your honorable mention.
Yeah. From the trailer, she looks like she's doing a good job.
Yeah.
So I have two honorable mentions. The first of them is Wes Anderson. Depends, again, on the film. It's a little too wacky for the Academy. Wes Anderson is hit or miss with them, so this movie could be a complete miss, and he could not get any nominations, including director. But my other honorable mention is Mr. Steven Spielberg, who he's not in my top 5, thankfully. But I mean, the Academy showed it last year. They like to honor a lot of the same people over and over again. Like last year, you could have kicked out Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino.
Totally. Those guys did not belong in that category.
They did the same stuff that they've always done. You could have swapped.
And it wasn't even that good. I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and The Irishman were like bad movies as well.
Oh, I agree. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was bad. I liked The Irishman, but it wasn't anything special for Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, I could get behind The Irishman, not Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah. But Spielberg himself hasn't gotten a director nomination since Lincoln in 2012. So I don't think, especially since he's remaking a film, it's not like he's doing something completely original and crazy. I don't think they'd honor him, but I mean, they've done crazier stuff. They nominated Quentin Tarantino last year, so who knows? So what is your number 5 then?
I actually have one more
go ahead.
Honorable mention, is Chloe Zhao.
Yes.
For Nomad, whatever the hell. Yeah. I can't remember. Okay, so my number 5 is a huge wild card, but at the same time, nobody thought that Jordan Peele would get nominated for Get Out, so I'm saying Ms. Nia DaCosta for Candyman has a shot.
That's a good prediction, yeah. Very much so could be Get Out-esque.
Because the work that she's done, like the true depth of the story, if you've seen the puppeteer, like the paper puppet kind of trailer that she put out on her Twitter, it's like she really gets it. She really has an understanding of what Candyman is and what she's doing. She knows what story she's telling, and it's devastating. It's scary, and it's angry. And I think that people are going to really appreciate her voice. I'm already appreciating her voice. And I think that if the Academy is smart, they'll nominate Nia DaCosta for Candyman.
I think they should. From the trailer, it looks like it's going to be a great film, and it looks like it has been very well directed. But it is also a semi-horror franchise. So I don't know, like Get Out was an original horror-ish film, so I don't know if it being connected to a previous film hurts it in any way, but I think...
Like, Halloween was nominated, and I think you probably could have made the argument for Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
So maybe that actually more than likely is a struggle for the film, but it seems original enough that I could see it getting away with it.
I think I don't agree with the Jamie Lee Curtis part, but I think Nia DaCosta, however you say it, has a shot. But my number 5 was your last honorable mention that you mentioned, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. I mean, as I was saying in a previous episode, this is a director that around this time next year, Disney is very invested in, and they are also distributing Nomadland. And the Oscars are probably going to be happening if Eternals moves a month before Eternals comes out. So they're going to push hard for her to get a nomination. Because if you have the director of your upcoming Eternals movie being nominated for Best Director a few weeks beforehand, that's a great boost for your film, I think. So I think Disney is very invested in her. The Academy occasionally likes to honor smaller directors, not very often, but I mean, Greta Gerwig got in there for her first film. Yes, she did. Yeah, she did. But also, which has always seemed to have been an issue in the past few years, the issue of having women directors. An issue last year before. Hopefully this year, since they've added more people to the Academy once again, they could try and get at least one woman in there. And I think your best shot at that would be Chloe Zhao for Nomadland.
I don't think that they should try and get one woman in there. I think they should try and get the best directors in there.
No, I think they should.
Last year was that they didn't nominate the best directors because Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino were nominated, you know? Mm-hmm. And poor Lulu Wang and like Marielle Heller and Lorene Scafaria for Hustlers and Greta Gerwig for Little Women were all left out in the cold. They shouldn't have been. But I think
that hurt.
I think you're right about Chloe Zhao because, like, let's be fair, Disney's going to make sure she has that nomination one way or another. Like, she's getting that nomination because, you know, people like to take checks.
Mm-hmm. And I think they're very invested in her. But as you said, I think they should go based on who does the best directing job. I think there are a lot of people in the Academy, though, who probably will, after these past few years, try and get a woman in there, just because I think it is important that these women be honored, and them getting in there helps their entire future of their career, as we've seen with Greta Gerwig.
Yeah. I feel very strongly about poor Lulu Wang, because that was such a good movie.
It was.
Yeah. Anyways, my number 4 is Mr. Denis Villeneuve for Dune.
That's a good pick. He's my number 3.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think it all depends on how good Dune actually is. Although maybe it doesn't, because Blade Runner 2049 was just, like, in my opinion, his best movie, and he wasn't nominated for that. And, like, Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread was nominated. Yeah. So, like, he clearly did something wrong. Or, like, maybe the Academy, maybe he, like, bullied someone in the Academy when he was, like, a teenager or something. I'm not sure. So, we'll see. But I think he has a strong chance, because it's such a director movie. Like, it's such a huge movie.
Yeah. Hopefully, in 2017, it was just an issue of that the Academy members didn't know how to spell his name, so they decided not to. But,
yeah.
I think maybe now, after these few years, they know how to spell his name, so they can put him in there. But I think it's a big spectacle film, like as we said before, Fury Road, which did get George Miller, I believe, Best Director nominated. Just because, as the director in these big spectacle films, there's so much different stuff and aspects you need to keep under control and make sure they work. I think it could help his chances, especially I think the cinematography is going to be great. I forget the cinematographer's name, but he had a good track record. And I just think, especially if there's less competition, which it seems like it, the Academy seems to be slowly coming around on Denis. Hopefully he gets in there.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So who is your number 4?
My 4 is Christopher Nolan for Tenet.
He's my number 3.
Oh, perfect. Our 3s and 4s are just swapped.
Yep.
I think since he's the guy right now, I think if he is the guy to like open up theaters with his movie and essentially sacrifice Tenet for the industry, I think the industry very likely could be grateful towards him, especially if he does do a great job directing it, which I have a feeling he is. It looks pretty good and sort of similar to Dune. It is more spectacle like, so there are a lot of different aspects that he has to control. And he did get nominated for Dunkirk. Um,
Crazy, yeah.
wasn't his best film, in my opinion. I wasn't a huge fan, but that shows that the Academy is starting to appreciate him more. So hopefully, if Tenet is great, and hopefully, I think it's likely that it's going to open theaters. I think the Academy can very likely honor him with a nomination, not a.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we have the same number 2 and number 1.
Probably, yeah.
So my number 2 is David Fincher. Is he your number 2?
He's not my number 2. He's your number 1. Yes.
Yeah, and my number 2. My number 1 is Spike Lee, and he's your number 2, right?
He is my number 2. Yeah. So which one do you want to talk about first?
If I had Chloe at number 5, we would have basically had the same list.
Yeah, just flopped around a little. Yeah.
Yeah. So all these directors know what they have to do. They have to make good movies because they're pretty set. They're pretty locked if all goes to plan.
Mm-hmm. So what do you want to talk about, Spike Lee or David Fincher first?
I mean, it's David Fincher's turn. Like, Spike Lee did. People want Spike Lee to win for directing, and I'm going to watch The Five Bloods tomorrow, and I'll see if he deserves that Oscar. But David Fincher directed 2 of my top 10 favorite movies of all time: The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and Gone Girl.
Yeah.
And he wasn't nominated for director for either of those films. I think he actually might have been nominated for Dragon Tattoo, but I don't think he actually was. And he should have been. And he probably should have won. I think he's a phenomenal director. Mindhunter is fantastic. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he's like a lock. If this movie comes out, it's currently to be determined. So if fingers crossed it comes out on time, David Fincher for Mank is my number 2.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think it's definitely going to come out because it's a Netflix film. So I think Netflix, as they showed last year, is definitely, and the year before, into spending tons of money for campaigning. And I think you can run a pretty good campaign for David Fincher as the guy who totally deserves an Oscar but has not won one yet. I mean, he's a great director. And it seems like a very artistic auteur film. I think I heard it maybe in black and white. I don't know if I remember that right.
Probably is actually, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that could help his chances. And it's also the whole story about completing his dad's script that I think the Academy is going to like as a good campaign.
Could you imagine if the film wins Best Screenplay, but it doesn't win Best Director?
Yeah. I mean, technically it's his dad's screenplay, so I wonder if you would accept it on his behalf.
He would probably accept it on his dad's behalf because the family always accepts it. And what's he going to do? Have his mother shut up? That'll just be a waste. He'll probably accept the Oscar. But still, that'd just be a bit mean.
That would technically be, would that be adapted screenplay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they would be competing against Aaron Sorkin. So who knows? But
please, Aaron Sorkin's not going to win.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, he is a great writer. He's won for writing before, though. So
yeah, he's probably not going to win again. What did he win for? Was it Steve Jobs?
For something. I mean, he's wrote
Social Network, I think.
Oh, Social Network, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's very likely. He would be my lock to win right now.
And my lock to win right now is Spike Lee because everyone's just getting behind him, and I guess I support him because I respect him, even though I don't necessarily enjoy his work. I think I've seen Malcolm X and Black Klansman. I think those are the only films I've seen. I should really watch more of his movies. But those are the only films I've seen. I did love Black Klansman, but I did love Malcolm X. So I respect the man for all the work that he's done. And yeah, I mean, if it's his turn, give it to him.
Yeah. I think you should watch Do the Right Thing, too. That's a very good film.
Do the Right Thing. Okay, I'll add it to my list. I'll buy it on Blu-ray just because I feel like I've deprived myself of poor Spike Lee for so long, and hopefully that money goes to him.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, he won his Oscar a few years ago, his first, but that was for writing. He has not won a directing Oscar yet, which I think they may want to honor him with that. I think he's only been nominated once for director, and I think Defy Bloods it won't be. Okay, so as I was saying, I don't think Defy Bloods will be forgotten because even though it came out in June, I think it's just so timely. And I think Lee, you haven't seen the film yet, but I think he did a good job directing it. It's a it's very artistic. It has a lot of artistic merit. There's a lot of different aspects that I think he did a good job with. And he also directed, I think, the best performance I've seen so far this year with Delroy Lindo. So I think he's definitely getting nominated. Whether or not he wins is, I think, David Fincher has a better shot than him, but we shall see.
We shall see. And with that, I think that wraps up this this episode. Yeah.
That does, yes. Do you want to go through our list one last time?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'll go first. My honorable mentions are Wes Anderson and Spielberg. At 5, I have Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. 4, Christopher Nolan for Tenet. 3, Denis Villeneuve for Dune. 2, Spike Lee for Defy Bloods. And 1, David Fincher for Mank.
Well, for me, at number 7, my first honorable mention is Liesl Tommy for Respect. Number 6 is Chloe Zhao for, I can't remember the name. Number 5 is Nia DaCosta for Candyman. Number 4 is Denis Villeneuve for Dune. Number 3 is Christopher Nolan for Tenet. Number 2 is Mr. David Fincher for Mank. And number 1 is Spike Lee for Defy Bloods.
Awesome. So those are our predictions for the 2021 Best Director nominations for the Oscars. And we shall see how this award season shapes about and how that category goes.
Yeah.